Hi Capricorn, welcome. We're here for you. This is your reading for April 2022. Let's jump in. Let's take a look at what is on the table when it comes to, we'll say, energy in general, all matters, areas of life. What is what? First things first. This is the channel Alchemy and You. If it's your first time, welcome. Thank you guys so much for connecting here and tuning into you. This is going to be a channeled message. It's an oracle message in addition to a tarot card oracle reading, oracle card reading, we'll say. We're using the cards, but I'm channeling the energy. So let's jump in, guys. I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, sensitive to energy, and again, I'll be relaying to you what it is I'm picking up on right then. As we begin, we have the Pleiadians, Mystic Martian oracle card popping through for you. This is definitely a huge month. I hear it like this. To come through and just start picking out that deck is, I think, pretty telling. Let's jump in for it. I'm hearing for it to really sort of get to the next leg of the conversation. Some of you even really starting to talk more so about something here, getting more comfortable with a certain idea here. It's something here that maybe at first you're like kind of like going back and forth with a bit, like maybe even a little bit nervous about. It's like, should I do it? Is it time? Like, what's really a conversation? For some of you, let's clear the energy in the throat chakra. What I'm getting is that, and I was meditating on your energy to your Capricorn, and it's important to remember as well, again, because this is a channeled message space, you definitely want to watch when you're more in, let's say, meditative state. It may be helpful, but always take it as you will, and you may want to watch in, let's say, different sort of contexts. Let's say at one point, maybe you want to sort of watch in a more meditative state, and at another point, maybe it's, oh, who knows, on your morning walk or during your run or however. So it may be that, though, over time you find that the message does resonate in different ways. Let's jump in and see what's what. We have the number 29 coming through. Enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. So definitely maybe a focus on gratitude here. That can be a sort of focus. But before I want to get into that, I want to get into what I was picking up on as I was meditating before I got on the camera here. I'm seeing here that there's something that you're inching towards, okay? And it's almost like it's something very exciting, but then I feel like you're like, okay, this is when things really turn around. Like, I see you looking at this opportunity even and saying, is it really happening? It's something kind of surreal, Capricorn. It's something that I feel like you do want, and it's almost like that moment where you're like, there's no point in sort of questioning like if it's really happening, okay, because I'm going to kind of do it anyways. I'm hearing that this is inevitable. I'm hearing I love this person, I love what they do. I hear that as well. For some of you, this is something you're headed towards in your career. It's like you're not questioning why it is that you're pursuing, what it is that you're looking towards now. Walk your own journey. It is essential to stay on your own path. Number 30. Some of you here are about to even really get very serious. I'm hearing in terms of matters of career, but I'm hearing in launching your own conversation in that space. And this could be something kind of daunting. Maybe you haven't done such a thing before. Maybe it's more of an entrepreneurial project. It can be something that makes you a little nervous. I'm hearing that again, but it's like you're not really nervous. Like, it's just more the sort of like the nuance of shifting into this new conversation and way of thinking. Ultimately, we have the number 1, life is an expression of you. Life is more than existing. Number 1. Some of you are definitely starting a new gig. I'm hearing that, a new project. Some of you, a move may be involved, but I feel like it's to the point where, and dare I say, I feel like you've been thinking about making this change for quite some time. Definitely for quite some time, but it's to the point where it's like, okay, why would I think so much about whether or not it's going to work out? I see you just sort of saying, I'm gonna go for it. So again, I'm seeing an American flag here. It could be a particular message. It's even one of those moments, Capricorn, where you say, you know what, the timing is just perfect, so why not? Number 16, again, we have unconditional love, excitement, laughter coming through. Some of you here possibly even going to meet up with someone. It can be a reunion energy. I'm getting that. Can we get a few messages on that, dear spirit? What is it that we're looking at when it comes to this particular period for you, Capricorn? Let's clear the energy and ground. This is something you've had your eye on for quite some time. We have number 40, Stargate of Libra, and it does come to the conversation space of your potential. What it is that honestly, I mean, you deserve, but you really want, and that's what it really comes down to, right? When you're in resonance with what it is that your soul really is urging to experience, we'll say, that's where you're in the flow state. That's when things really start really manifesting and coming forward to you, rather than you feeling like you need to sort of magnetize it to you in a conditional space, okay, where it's like, I need to do XYZ to manifest XYZ. That is what you're purging, possibly, but it always depends. This is a general video, and it's your decision, your free will, on what karma you decide to move through. But that's definitely, I feel, a conversation that's heavily coming to focus now, okay, that sort of space of saying, you know what, I don't need to make this happen. I am the context to what it is I experience, and I shift my vibration and thus my experience. For some of you, you're going to be stepping into a new work position. I see that. This is something changing by way of the things that you've understood about yourself, about what you want, about what you love, and you're releasing the guilt and the shame associated in that space that may be associated with someone outside of you. Like, how do we say, like, outside of your story? Like, sometimes, you know, there are those moments where it's like, well, you know, this is so-and-so's opinion. I'm seeing a lavender plant here. It's like, well, this is so-and-so's opinion, but you know what? Like, they're not me, and you know what? They don't even really know me, like the real me. You know, if it really came down to the me, and me, I wouldn't really want to do that. One thing that they're saying, you know, would be a great idea and whatnot. So I see you just sort of releasing I'm here in the sense of sort of even like what you felt that you were doubting, or what you felt like you needed to sort of deliver to someone for a very particular reason. And I'm hearing bear here. That is related to finances for some, definitely. For some of you, this is related to, whoa, I'm hearing a movie. Okay, I'm hearing Touchstone Films, pictures. This is so specific for some. Again, this is a channel. Okay, but for some of you, it's cleared in the throat chakra. This is something related to family. I'm hearing that as well. It says, enter the magic, live in the now, seize the moment, number 6. I feel like you're stepping forward with a sense of bravery and saying, I don't need to fear the feeling I have for this new beginning. I'm powerful because it's my passion, and that's what takes me to the next level and step of what I see, of what I create. I see you not needing proof that this is a good idea, in other words. Okay, but this is a general video. I take it as you will. Uncord relationships, let go now. Forgiveness is freedom, number 4. For some of you, yeah, this is you actually feeling more at peace in your conversation with what you're creating, where you're like, you know what, like, it's all good if this person also is not responding or reacting in the way that, you know, I would like them to, so-called. After all, why am I waiting for this person to approve of what it is that I have done for myself? For some of you here, you're absolutely releasing, okay, the sense of pressure around your story. This is something that really requires of you to be very brave, because you know that inherently maybe it is a bit controversial, or there's something here that, you know, someone would have something to say about. Now, there is something that you are also realizing you want to be gentle with the process of, like, how do I transition in this conversation? How do I do this in a way that also allows me to remain level-headed and grounded and also feeling comfortable? The meanwhile, let's get a little bit further. Soul satisfaction number 23. Okay, some of you, this is something very exciting, and I feel like there's so much passion here involved. There's a lot of emotion actually as well, but there is also a lot of, again, I'm hearing this sort of complication when it comes to the pressure you're feeling financially. I'm hearing to carry this out. It's almost like I see these two paths. One path is like, okay, I know emotionally what I'm looking for in this space, but then it's like the practicalisms, right? How do I also actually have the conversation about this? For some of you, though, I see it actual strategy, logic, with the freedom of truth coming through with the I am presence and soul satisfaction. Some of you here, you're going to be coming through. I see that, and wanting to maybe even like connect with someone physically. I see that more so, especially if those of you Capricorns who have been at a distance from someone. Some of you, I see you're going to just kind of really say, you know what, I want to like make this come full circle. I see you just wanting to reconnect here in the space of what you love. I hear it like this, and physically, I'm hearing why not. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. Let's get a little further here, Capricorn. Let's see what's going on. I'm hearing it's been a long road. Yeah, it's been a long road. Okay. Let's get a few more cards here from the Oracle of the Unicorns, dear Capricorn. Again, that same card, the Freedom of Truth. I feel like this is something that it's almost like you keep coming back to this point, like, okay, you know what? I keep coming to this point, like, I might as well do it. Like, something just keeps kind of coming up again and over and over and over. Like, it's one of those moments where you, like, meet someone and you keep bumping into them. It's like, all right, we got to talk. We got something to say. What's up? You know, like, okay, well, there's some kind of connection here. Like, for some of you, this is something, though, that relates to your proposal. I hear that, your proposal. Long term. Let's get a little further here. Uncord relationships again coming through. Cosmic Emerald. This came through for Aquarius. You might want to check that out. I'm hearing gumbo. Looking at this right here, I just saw gumbo. Take it as you will. It could be a particular message. For some of you, you're actually creating a new project. that is so inspiring. I feel like it just brings you back to this space of like absolute bliss and joy. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so fun. I see you like kind of creating and illustrating something, drawing something. Some of you just feel like kind of more lighthearted in whatever the space is. Maybe it's even a hobby you picked up, but I really feel this is something that you're actually stepping into seriously in the sense of maybe even like thinking this is going to be your full-time position. For some of you, I see you illustrating something. Let's clear the energy. I want to pull a little bit further. There's someone here though who is involved in this space and they mean a whole lot to you. I'm hearing that as well. This is someone who you really, really have a very strong connection to. I like to pull on that. Let's get here really quickly with the... Let's get here. Yeah. This is something intimidating though. I feel at the same time like there is a side of like the story that is a little bit like gridlocky is what I'm hearing. We have the Three of Swords. There might have been something that even psychologically was sort of like weird about the situation. Maybe, for example, there was something in the story that kind of like you had a hard time communicating about, or someone else did, or you were thinking like logistically, like how would I eventually connect like this to this? I'm hearing it like this. And let's clear it. It could be something just that you speak through. Okay, the process, like how are you going to talk about this particular conversation? Maybe it's like, well, I know I love this person, but how will I introduce them to so-and-so? We have the Death in reverse, and I am kind of curious. There could be factors here that are related. I'm hearing right here to religion, possibly, or even culture. I'm hearing school. I hear that very specific. Maybe you're like literally thinking like, let's clear it. Yeah, if I'm going to school here and they're going to school there, if I'm living here, you're thinking like, how is it going to kind of come together? Two of Pentacles in reverse, and again, logistically, Nine of Cups upright. We then have the Shower of Blessings, number 24. Open yourself to receive, pay it forward. Again, that Cosmic Emerald tablet here, number 31. I'm looking at those two cards. There's something that you are going to create. It's like you feel like it's about you being honest. You got to come out and really call this out. It's something kind of freaky. I feel for some of you, it's definitely the first time that you've done whatever this is, sort of thing. Can we get a little further? For some of you, it's about commitment, and I see you like wanting to kind of, well, yeah, this is reminding me of a reading. Like it's like I'm seeing you wanting to claim it. That's reminding me of a Pisces reading from a little while back. I think it was during the summer. It's clearing the throat chakra. Some of you may be dealing with a Pisces, like you've been really, especially if you've been dealing with a Pisces, you really want to like get something off of your chest, like communicate something. We have the Ladder. Climbing towards success. Again, I feel like there was a very fundamental question here that was like kind of the issue, like you're not doing something because of a very particular reason. And that obviously, right, is not really like that space of emotion, right, where it's just, we are just feeling it and we're just feeling it. There's no sort of structure to our emotion necessarily. And yeah, how we get to our emotion, how it is that we sort of release our emotion, and how it is, well, there can be, right? I mean, if you're trying to, let's say, work with your emotions strategically, but when it comes to maybe even clearing or processing emotion, but we're talking like, let's clear in the sense of what you're feeling. There's usually not going to be a sort of logical parameter through which you understand and you arrive at your emotion, but always take it as you will. Maybe like logically. Sometimes we feel things, well, in more of a human sense. We feel things, but it's like, we don't know necessarily maybe as a word, but I feel what we're talking about here more so is not really that. It's more like the emotion is a natural flow state, throne, position of authority. And it may have been for some of you that you were even like holding this energy, this emotion back from maybe this person. I'm hearing this person from this conversation space, and it may be as well bringing up the conversation of self-talk here too. Yeah, like kind of like feeling secure enough to pursue something that you don't yet have, okay, a sort of threshold for, to understand, interesting, like this is the first time I felt this emotion. Don't know where this leads, kind of thing, Cup coming through, yeah. Some of you have a very strong connection with somebody. Capricorn, a very, very, very strong connection. We have Owl, we have Box, and we have Cup. I feel some of you have been watching someone, and I was getting this as I was meditating the energy for a turn on the camera. Some of you have been really, really, you have had your eye on someone here. Can we get some letter charms? I feel like Spirit wants us to hold off on that. Can we get here with a tarot here again? What is this? I feel some of you, like, you know something for yourself, like, you know something here is, like, meaningful to you, but then you're kind of holding it back, like, possibly from a group of people. We have the Lovers coming through. Yeah, this is something that you're very attracted to, okay, or someone. It can be someone with a lot of Gemini in their chart. We have the Ace of Wands upright, the Ace of Swords upright, and it is the Nine of Swords in reverse. This is all about getting honest here. I'm here Aquarius. I'm here Sagittarius, Capricorn, maybe with an Aquarius or a Sagittarius or somebody who has a lot of those energies in the birth chart. Capricorn, this is so, so important. I'm hearing in this way. I feel like you're at this point where your guides are looking at you and they're like, yo, Capricorn, please, please, please get really direct here with what it is that you want to do about what you're feeling. Because I feel like this has been something that's just been building now. Let's get a little further with the Death card as well in reverse. Oh, Temperance actually in reverse in the theme. Wow. I feel some of you, like, there's something here that has a lot of potential and you're like, you know what? I would be crazy to let this go. Okay, Crossroads in reverse at the base of the theme. Two of Swords in reverse. There's something that's very exciting, but then it's like, yeah, I feel like you realize, like, it's sort of silly. Like, it's not a question, it's inevitable. Like, I see you kind of being like, I'm gonna do it anyways. Like, I would want to be, you know, in this conversation. Like, why would I resist? I hear that. Why would I hold back? King of Swords in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse, Five of Wands upright. This is something that is maybe a little taboo, or it has a side to it that's a little bit, like, a little weird, so-called, okay, but only in the context of where you would sort of communicate about this particular conversation to others. And I see you kind of being like, you know what? That should not rule my experience. I'm hearing it like that, but you always take it as you will. It's a general video, but we are talking to the querent as a light worker. We will never be doing a reading preaching the mantras, okay, of the narcissistic frequency space. This is not at all. If you're watching this reading and you're like getting triggered, take a step back, do the self-love work that you need to do to really clear that conversation, okay, that's bringing you to a point to feel like you're also not good enough. Okay, I'm here for this person. No, this reading should empower you only as the querent, as a light worker. Yeah, if you are, you know, doing things in the space of oneness and the love for all, you are in the light, and you're not, you know, wanting to manipulate or cause harm to another, then this is the message for you, and this is going to be for your highest self. Okay, yeah, so in that conversation is not going to be, yeah, it's not about lowering the frequency. So yeah, if you are feeling triggered by this message, take a step back, maybe meditate and come back into it in a bit of time. Let's move forward though. What else? Let's see. Aquarius. I'm here, Aquarius. Yeah, but always heed your personal intuition with, yeah, when you feel guided to watch and how. For some of you, this is something to be exposed, and I feel like you feel like, you know what, naturally, like, a lot of people are gonna have something to say about this, and I feel like some of you, like, some people you feel like may actually be quite upset about whatever this is, for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know what this is for everybody. This is a general video, but I feel like some of you feel like you almost can, like, know for certain, like, that this person or whoever is going to be on the receiving end of this conversation is, or this, whatever you're calling out, maybe even this so-called speech, is going to be a little bit frustrated. I'm hearing that. But again, I'm not living for this moment of this one conversation with this one person. I'm living for my story. And that is something that is going to continue regardless of the reactions that others have to particular moments in time where I see myself, okay, and I say something to others about what I see. Syrians in reverse, B in reverse. Let's get further here. This has to do with a physical location or move, and it's something that you're investing in. Scorpio. I'm here, Scorpio, Capricorn. Oh, you got a very important contract here coming. You have the Anunnaki coming through. For some of you, you're going to be reuniting with a soulmate, but simultaneous to that, there's something kind of challenging you have to get very clear on. I'm seeing here a toilet paper roll. I don't know what that's alluding to. Let's clear it. For some of you, it's like, well, let's say like this, if I move in this direction, then understandably, like, naturally, I would have to undo and unravel that other conversation. For some of you, there's something a little bit give and take, a little bit catch-22, a little bit frustrating, a little bit like between a rock and a hard place, but not emotionally. Again, I feel like you know where you stand emotionally, but the issue here maybe is the concept that you're working with that others hold in this space. For some of you, this is a projected mantra. This is someone else's maybe expectations. It can even be a past life energy, but for some of you, this is something that is kind of like freaky. It's like when I call this out, I know, again, I'm hearing that I undo that other conversation. For some of you, Let's clear it. I'm here. You are absolutely protected, and you may have a fear. Maybe like it's just like I don't know why I don't want to call this out, but it's like I'm hearing from your guides. Know that you're protected, and in calling your light out, you are one with all, and that's a very, very, very powerful place to be. Anunnaki. Okay, this is something that you make, again, I'm hearing like a pact with yourself on, even where you say, I'm not going to be worried about what people have to say about what my answer is to my own problem. This is my life. I'm hearing that. Ooh, Capricorn. Okay, some of you here are selling something. This is something related to investment property. Let's get a little bit further. Okay, some of you, I feel like you're kind of deciding, you know what, I don't want to do that, and I feel like people are gonna, you feel like people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, but who are people? We're all, right, important, and we all have a very unique conversation point and something to say that holds meaning and value. It's never going to be that the masses are going to have a more thoughtful perspective. I feel like you're realizing that, sure, there could be 5 out of 10 people who believe in XYZ, but let it be that I'm that one person who realizes that I see things a little differently. You are feeling the sense of confidence. I keep hearing Aquarius, Capricorn, with something that you're feeling. And that's amazing to find in a Capricorn reading, because as someone with a lot of Cap, you likely are someone who is very, very kind of practically minded. If you've got Capricorn really as any major placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars. I feel like some of you, though, like, yet again, you've had enough of these, like, maybe even, like, experiences that have kind of taken you in directions as, like, that's not really what I want. And then you kind of boomerang back and you're like, that is just, like, it. And I know it. And it's for sure. It's like, you know, those moments, it's like you don't really not know what you want. It's just like you're kind of getting, like, kind of flung around a little bit. It's like, I don't really know how to say it. I'm hearing that. So this is a matter of the logical mind and interpreting and interpretation of your emotions in the 3D. Let's clear it, but also socially. So yeah, let's clear it. Yeah, so it was getting complicated is what I'm hearing. Like, maybe you're thinking, like, you know, even not like literally, but it was in the back of your mind. Like, it's like you knew you wanted to say something, but then it's like unconsciously, okay, you are like not wanting to like step forward in that space, because then you feel that there is like another conversation that you're going to have with someone else. I hear that at another point in time, but you're not processing that that's a like legitimate fear or a point that's affecting how you're holding the conversation, period. For some of you, it's something maybe you're avoiding even at a certain point in time. Wow, we're really reaching into all of the Starseed Oracle decks here with you. This is amazing, Capricorn. I'm really happy to feel this energy here for you, especially being one of the earth signs. You're really holding the fort in the 3D, but it seems like you're wanting to have another conversation here. I'm hearing also tonight. So there is something that you're realizing. I'm hearing it's the time. It's the time to do it if I'm going to do it. We have one card. Ooh. It's meant to be. You deserve good things. Keep your focus on what you want. This card is actually from another deck, but okay, well, there we go. Okay, Capricorn, I don't know if you caught that on camera. That was really interesting. My hand hit this tea leaf oracle deck, and the one that's sitting on the face of the deck is Reconciliation Pineapple. Some of you have someone who's definitely on your mind. It's like, okay, I'm in love. I know. For some of you, I feel like that's you with you. It's like I feel like you really like someone here. You want to reunite with them. Let's go a little further. Okay, I feel like something was just like, it's like all the times you try to like avoid, it's like it just comes back together. So let's pull a little further here on that pineapple. I feel like some of you, let's clear in the throat chakra. Yeah, halls of immense initiation, secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, initiations. I feel like you're coming to a point to reveal something to someone very particular. For some of you, I see that you do have your eye on someone. However, for some of you, we said marry. This is the kind of thing where it's like someone's avoiding someone, like even just saying, hey, I want to be like even friends with you, because they're thinking about marriage with that person. Okay. Crown chakra, it's like, yeah, it's so serious that it's freaky, and it's just a moment then of avoidance altogether. Crown chakra upgrade, in other words, like if you, I feel like it's not going to be a proper reflection of how this person actually feels, like the way that they're expressing. Crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energy. Some of you have someone very particular in mind, but you're thinking about like maybe that person's family or their environment or their job, the career. There's something kind of like not the point that is affecting the point of what you feel. Let's get here the letter charms. I feel for some of you, like when you first met whoever this is, or you were introduced to this space, like there was a little bit of a clunky energy. For some of you, actually a very physical energy, and it was a little bit like uncomfortable because of how strong it was to begin with. I feel like some of you, like you really knew that there was a very strong connection, but then you also felt like you doubted it because it was so strong from the get-go, like too soon. Let's get further. We have P-A-P. Somebody here, we have Papi, like maybe daddy. We have a Y, we have an H. We have an I, papi. That's, I think, in like Spanish, they say papi. Okay, but for some of you, let's go. Yeah, you like, I see you like avoiding someone. It's like you were just keeping it very light. Like, okay, because you really, really saw a lot in this conversation. We have M-A-T, we have Matt, we have A-M, we have T-A, we have at. So someone could have been a little bit young, I'm seeing that as well. Somebody could have children, I'm seeing that as well. We have L-S. We have an I, and we have a T. For somebody, this is about, yeah, so, but, no, let's clear it. This is something controversial. For some of you, I see this is like someone's family is involved, like you have to call something out. I hear that again for whatever reason. B-R-E-L-N-J and a D. For some of you, we have spelled a nerd. For some of you, I feel like you've just been hiding your emotion for so long. Like, this is something kind of funny. I feel like people look in on this space and it's like, how did you do this? Like, I really feel for some of you, like, if you end up sort of like getting married to this person, let's say one day, it's like people would ask you that one question, like, how did you guys literally, I'm also hearing like live together for so long, but not have a space that you called out as love. Like, there's something kind of truly miraculous here. Let's get a little further. For some of you, this spells list, by the way, but yeah, I feel like gradually, like this whoever is going to come forward, and whoever has been wanting to get something off their chest, like they're going to really get out and talk about it. The throat chakra will become more active here, is what I'm seeing. Okay, now for some of you, yeah, yet again, like there's something there's something kind of too passionate even, and because of that, it's like I see this person kind of avoiding. Let's get a little further here. This is something physical for some of you. Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, freedom. This is a very strong contract. Karmically, this is probably one of the strongest contracts you will ever have in this particular lifetime, and probably this is a lifetime partner in multiple lifetimes. This is something that, in other words, you know, and it should not excuse toxic behavior ever. Like, a tarot reading should never make you sold, so-called, on a partner who is toxic or who is toxic, and it's not taking you in an empowering way to your story and taking you to your you in an empowered way. We should not be living for, let's say, so-called someone's, transcendence. We are always in that conversation with ourselves first and primarily and always. Okay, but there is definitely, another side of the story is what I'm hearing here with this particular moment where you say, okay, there's something significant, and I can't say that there is not. For some of you here with the Akashic records popping up, I feel like it's one of those moments, where you realize that there's so much at play in the relationship, and there's so much passion, and that it is not so-called, let's say, well, it's really for some of you feel ashamed should you not pursue in this space. Give me a quick second here, Capricorn, one moment. Capricorn, there's one more message here coming through. As I was tuning it out, I was seeing here that there is possibly some overlap between your reading and the Aries reading. So you may want to check out the Aries reading. That could be a very particular message and very particular focus for someone here, if you're feeling guided. And yeah, so there could be a really strong focus on preparing for some sort of new sort of dynamic here that you like to strike. Bye, you guys. We'll see you in that. Capricorn, sorry about that. Okay, let's jump back into it. Yeah, so we had this sort of moment of like break that came through in the Aquarius reading as well. So it could be a very particular message. I'm seeing the number 7 here all over here for you. That could be a very particular message. Now, yeah, but this is a very intense past life connection, and it's in the sense for some of you, I'm very curious to pull further. We'll see what spirit allows to come through in relation to this particular connection. But for some of you, you have, I'm hearing possibly even a really strong contact to your connection. I'm seeing something related to some sort of scripture. For some of you, maybe you even wrote scripture together. Take it as you will. It seems like a very particular message here. I'm hearing the letter M-A. Now, we do have M-A. Take it as you will. For some of you, there's something that you've discovered even, okay, about yourself. And it's like one of those moments where you say, you know what, like, this is not just a little love story. This is something that I am actually transforming through the experience of. I am changing as a person. I am moving through my fears, and I'm actually improving as a person. I hear it again like this, through these moments that I hold with fear, okay, for what it is that I love in this person and in this story. And so for some of you, I feel like it's actually very ironic. Like there's something here of realizing that what you also are worried about possibly, or what you work, yeah, even in this particular experience, is not the point, is not relevant. And actually, it's actually a gift for you, Capricorn, as you see it. Like, yes, absolutely, to move even further to the next step and stage of your journey. So in other words, this is a connection that brings you sort of like back to yourself, back to you. And that's the point where you say it's a deep and meaningful connection for me, because yeah, so I'm seeing that strong past life energy as being something that is related to what you carry with you in terms of your discussion with the next level of your decisions that you make when it comes to your life purpose clock. In other words, I feel like you feel this person plays a role in your long-term when it comes to your soul path, life path calling. Not just like, it's not just like you're physically attracted. It's not just like you're only physically attracted. It's not that there's like just, you know, some sort of, you know, this is something that has levels and layers and is a really like actually deep conversation. So you'll know most likely what that means there for you possibly. Always take it as you will, feel free to meditate on that. We have girl with a snake coming through on the clock. Some of you really feared this person. I even hear that at a certain moment in time. For some of you, maybe you felt that it was too good to be true. Maybe you felt that, you know, they had even something up their sleeve, or you felt that, you know, you wouldn't be able to handle this connection, or you felt that, you know, there was something that was risky here. Some of you, you realize that it's no point in discovering that. I'm hearing by way of not giving the relationship a chance. I feel like some of you, if you realize that fear was running the way that you approach this person and this opportunity, it's almost like, what a shame. Like, why would I let my fear hold me back? Like, I should at least, like, why not explore and see what this can lead to? So let's get a little further. And thank you so much again, Capricorn, for tuning in, for hitting the like button on this video as well if it is resonating. Thank you guys so much for showing your support with hitting the like button and commenting as well. We've got the runner coming through. Something I feel really was very deep and meaningful, but then it's like someone started to act kind of like silly in this connection, and it became kind of ironic and very obvious. And I feel like at that point it's going to flip. We have karmic relationship landing on halls of immense initiation. Somebody was definitely engaging in this connection, in this space, from the lens of possibly the past life. And that's where we say, you know, the connection could be strong, but there's also the karma that comes along with that. With those past lives comes a lot of karma. And are you going to be transcending through the shadow? It's always a decision, and we'll never make that for the other person. Hence why you should never wait on someone's transcendence, as we said earlier. Let's get a little further and see what is what. But in terms of like potential, I feel I feel that you feel the potential's there, and now it's a matter of your approach. Like, you want to sort of really like start to just explore and experience and sort of how do we say, release yourself into this story. Abundance coming through. Yeah, I see like the fixities and the rigidities of the way you interact in this space will be no longer. And it's almost like you look back on yourself like, or the way you were sort of interacting in this space, you're like, why did I do that in that way? We have love call in reverse. We have sword and rose in reverse. And then we have the butterfly upright. For some of you, this was something that it's definitely triggering. There's a lot here that is like super uncomfortable naturally. Like, I'm almost getting like, you make me do things that are like crazy. Like, this connection is going to make you feel at times like it puts you in this position where you're avoiding something and you're just like, why am I avoiding that? Like, it doesn't actually make sense, but it's because for some of you feel so deeply in this space, hence the trigger. Can we get a little bit further here? Wedding rings in reverse and the Grim Reaper in reverse. Some of you here have something that you want to do something about. And we have not enough coming through upright, mirroring wedding rings in reverse, the Grim Reaper in reverse. It's almost like you feel like you know, you do want to really do something very particular to get the conversation to the next level. And we're talking a little bit abstractly here. Always take it easy. Well, again, you may want to watch in like a meditative state. These are downloads, these readings, right? You will download this energy into the consciousness space from the subconscious space. This is you to you with your higher self. And again, if a reading is not empowering you, click off. It's not maybe your message. Not enough coming through though. With that Grim Reaper in reverse or wedding rings in reverse, for some of you, you felt maybe at a certain point that something was not working for you, but it's not that it wasn't working for you. It's about the disconnection maybe that you had in a certain way to that connection, the mirror to that connection itself. Something was kind of like, how do we say, in other words, challenging you, provoking you, making you feel like something was, you know, really like not enough. Like I'm literally hearing that, like you felt triggered, like you felt like, yeah. And so, but in the way as well of your approach, like, so it's almost ironic. It's like, oh, okay, I'm avoiding this person, and it's sort of perpetuating this conversation of, you know, my shadow. I hear it like that, or what I feel is not working. I hear that, but then it's like I see you start to transcend that space, and you get into this conversation zone of saying, you know what, in this conversation space of saying, I want to actually look at the process with an open mind and see what could actually be. Should I just sort of explore my happiness? Interesting. And you were ruled by Saturn. Yeah, Saturn can get kind of cynical, kind of heavy, right? Saturn can kind of be that moment where we say no before we say yes, just because for the sake of it, you know. It's like, yeah, it's kind of that principle like energy. So if you have a lot of Saturn in your chart, and if you are watching this video as a Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or just if you're just watching, we all have Capricorn somewhere in our chart, most likely you're kind of like, you know, having that moment every now and then with yourself where you're like, yeah, let's clear it in the back of the neck. Yeah, this isn't, it's, yeah, we have addiction coming through there, upright. Codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, restraint. And then we have here healing, heart in reverse. Yeah, somebody was very, very, they were avoiding, okay, what they were feeling. And it comes down to having the love language with which they can express themselves in this space. Something was naturally very, very triggering. We have the photograph of bright, not enough in reverse, lightning. And I feel someone realizes why. They realize why as being a potential next move in the connection. Asking that question of themselves, why am I avoiding this person if I have so much attraction to them? After all, girl with a snake, upright, mirror. Yeah, let's, for some of you, this was something that was not technically appropriate or not technically right. For some of you, I'm seeing it may even actually be a so-called same sex, same gender relationship. For some of you, though, this is something that's a little taboo. Maybe someone's dating someone outside of their so-called, like, I'm hearing career space, take it as you will. Maybe there was some sort of like complication in relation to that. With love cult and girl with a snake, it's like maybe for some of you there was even like a little bit of a political side of the storyline here, possibly, whatever that means. We have religion possibly as well here. That was a focus. I'm seeing that here with a love call. For some of you, someone here, if they had a public and they had a private life as well, I'm seeing that. And maybe it was that there was a matter of career there, and they maybe were trying to really, really, really avoid this person. I hear that almost like at all costs, even I'm hearing that. Thinking that that would give them a sense of like greater control over the connection. And yeah, because, well, they realize the connection doesn't disappear unless I decide with certainty and I make that move definitive. I feel like somebody was hovering in this space of like, I'm not acting on it. I'm realizing the connection is there, but I'm just going to treat it as if it's not. But I'm not going to make a decision in relation to it yet. I hear it like this. So there's something here that you realize, you know what, I need to have a plan, and because otherwise it's going to linger and it's going to become something that we almost like sort of become attracted to. How do we say, we'll associate, okay, the attraction we have for that person will sort of will mirror that with the way that we approach that person. And you're realizing that for some of you, you may lose this conversation should that be the pattern that subsists. For some of you, it's about bravery. And I feel like some of you are dealing with someone who you respect, who you really like, who you have a lot of love for, you're very attracted to. But there is a side of the story that, again, that is like, you know, very much making clear the echoes of your subconscious, your mind, your logical mind, okay? The questions of how can it work? What if this? What if that? Where will it lead? Who's gonna hear of what happens next? We have Axe coming through again on the dragonfly this time. And then we have palm tree. For some of you, you do have a question to make, okay, and an answer for, okay, but in the moments where you're not answering that question naturally with your heart space, that's when shit gets so-called complicated. That's what I'm hearing. So I feel for some of you, Capricorn, you're changing the way that you're approaching the feelings you hold. I don't feel the feelings are changing. I feel that the approach is changing in a simple way. All right, but take it as you will. Of course, again, these videos, yeah, as you watch, you may find that you have epiphanies here as you're listening. All right, now what else here? We have separation coming through. So for some of you, there may be a moment where, you know, you took space, you took time, maybe you even like wanted to kind of like imagine that, you know, that it would be possible, I'm going to be honest, to live without this person. I'm hearing it as you see it, and nobody can tell you that you're meant to be and you got to be together, right? But I feel like you got to that point where you said, you realize I'm holding myself back. So let's get a little bit further. Some of you, I feel like you do have a reunion coming here. It's very exciting. And there is a physical side of the story. Can we get a few more cards? Passion, mirror, and axe. Some of you, yeah, I feel like it's really like self-sabotage energy. Like someone realized like being like holding myself away from this feeling, I feel is just making it more challenging for me to really get clear on why I am also holding myself back. In other words, it's like you're almost realizing that yeah, the distance and the resistance is actually perpetuating the shadow, okay, and perpetuating, yeah, the reasons for why you're holding back. Interesting. And so for some of you, this is about possibly inviting a new energy into the connection. So thank you for tuning in, Capricorn. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. Please hit the like button and let me know if you like this video. Hit the bell notification icon to get notified of the next time we go live. When we do go live, every so often we do go live on the channel. Yeah, if you're not already subscribed, feel free to subscribe if you feel guided. And we usually talk a bit about astrology as well. So just as a heads up, anything else here before we tune it out? I think that's about it. So I'm wondering if we should pop a quick card for each of the days before we tune it out, or should we just leave it at that? Dear Capricorn, I feel we'll leave it, let's pull a quick card for each of the days. We did that for most signs here, but you know what, Capricorn, okay, let's see. Yeah, Capricorn, I'm getting this feeling. I feel like it's really about sort of just kind of getting to that point where you're getting ready to see something very clearly and to release. And so thank you for tuning in, Capricorn. I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for your support on the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.